22, 23, and 24 say special products of radical expressions where we're either going to square something or we're going to multiply conjugates. And so basically we're doing the exact same thing we did on the previous problem, just these are those special ones that if you kind of remember the process, you don't really have to do all the way, but I probably would do them all the way anyway. So in this case, if this is squared, I'm really taking the square root of x plus 3 square root of 3 times the square root of x plus 3 square root of 3. So if I FOIL that out, square root of x times the square root of x would be the square root of x squared, which is just x. Square root of x times 3 square root of 3 would give me 3 square root of 3x. 3 square root of x times, or 3 square root of 3 times the square root of x gives me another 3 square root of 3x. 3 square root of 3 times 3 square root of 3 is going to give me 9 square root of 9. That's going to be 3, and I'm going to get 27. 9 times 3 is 27. So you'll see that I get that middle term twice, and so I'm going to have x plus 3 plus 3 is 6 square root of 3x plus 27 for my answer when I multiply that out. So remember our shortcut was to square the first, take 2 times the first times the last, because I'm going to get this twice, and then square the last. I just usually FOIL it out and come up with my answer. Now when I have conjugates, remember your middle term will have opposite signs. So square root of x times square root of x is the square root of x squared, which is just x. Square root of x times negative square root of 3 is negative square root of 3x. Square root of 3 times the square root of x is positive square root of 3x. And then the square root of 3 times the negative square root of 3 is negative square root of 9, which just gives me minus 3 then. These two are going to cancel out their opposites, and so my answer is that I just get x minus 3. So when I multiply conjugates, I get those nice answers that eliminate the square root from my problem. So again, on number 23, I'm going to multiply that out. So I'm going to take the square root of x minus the square root of 3, they like those numbers today, and square root of x minus the square root of 3. So square root of x times the square root of x, square root of x squared again, which is just x. Square root of x times negative square root of 3 is the negative square root of 3x. Negative square root of 3 times x is another negative square root of 3x. Negative square root of 3 times a negative square root of 3 is a positive square root of 9, which is just a plus 3. So my like terms in the middle, again, I have to think of this as a negative 1 plus another negative 1. Negative 1 plus negative 1 gives me negative 2 square roots of 3x. And then I have that plus 3 that was on the end. The next one, square root of x times the square root of x again. Square root of x squared, which is just x. Square root of x times negative 2 square root of 3, negative 2 square root of 3x. Positive 2 square root of 3 times the square root of x is a positive 2 square root of 3x. Those should be opposites. They're going to cancel since we're multiplying conjugates. Positive 2 square root of 3 times negative 2 square root of 3 would be negative 4 square root of 9, right? 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is a perfect square, so we take the square root of 9, which is 3. Negative 4 times 3 would be minus 12. So we get x minus 12 for our answer. Number 24 then. They're going to start with the conjugate this time. So 3 square root of x times 3 square root of x would be 9 square root of x squared. Square root of x squared is x, so we would get 9x. 3 square root of x times the square root of 3 would be 3 square root of 3x. Negative square root of 3 times 3 square root of x is negative 3 square root of 3x. Those should be opposites and cancel each other out. Negative square root of 3 times a positive square root of 3 is a negative square root of 9, which makes that just a 3. So I get 9x minus 3 for my answer. And the last one here of these ones, we're going to take 3 square root of x plus the square root of 3 times 3 square root of x plus the square root of 3. So 3 square root of x times 3 square root of x is 9 square root of x squared, which simplifies into 9x. 3 square root of x times the square root of 3 would be 3 square root of 3x. Square root of 3 times 3 square root of x is another 3 square root of 3x. I should get that same thing twice. 3 plus 3 gives me 6 square root of 3x. And then my last term, square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 9, which is just 3. So I get 9x plus 6 square root of 3x plus 3 for my answer.